club that had certain kind of traits as far as having a little money, having a little influence with people in various clubs. Well, Ali and I didn't have that kind of influence. We didn't have much money, so naturally we weren't accepted into the clubs that were in our school. So we took up athletics, and athletics was our way of saying yes, we can be somebody. And didn't he make a name for himself? And I'm just so proud of him. I don't know what to do. I'm just feel real pain for him in his sickness right now. But his brother has a similar traits of the same sickness. So, but his brother and I, we embrace each other when we see the champ. Really, probably has difficulty. He's probably met millions of people all over the world. Yeah. And but the memories are good. I can recall when we would leave Central, we would sometimes we'd get a ride. Most of the time we'd be thumbing home. Back then, there wasn't anything wrong with thumbing. Very seldom did we ever catch a bus. And whoever we catch a ride with, we would get in the back seat, and he would act like that he was a siren. He would he would put his head out the window, and from 12th and Broadway all the way to 28th and Broadway, cars would be pulling over because if anybody heard a siren back then, they knew that a fire engine or a police car was behind them, and the cars would pull over to the edge of the curb. And so all the way down from 12th and Broadway to 28th and Broadway, he lived at 34th and Grand, and I lived at 26th and Grand Avenue. So, but he would do that, and we would laugh and just have a whole lot of fun. But never did we talk about issues, and but later on when he joined the Muslims, and I went to one of his book signings. He was signing the Quran on 18th and 18th and now 18th and Muhammad Ali. Now isn't that something? It was 18th and wanted at that time, but he was talking to me about the Nation of Islam. But he became that Central High School. In his 12th grade year and in my 11th grade year, we had a tailoring class, fix clothes and iron clothes and things. And he was involved in that class, and that class was heavily Muslim oriented. There were several people in that class, and a fellow by the name of King, his name was William King. He was kind of the leader there, and these young fellows were getting involved in Muslims activities. And at the time, it didn't really suit me because I was involved in Christianity and believe that Jesus Christ is my Savior. And at his book signing, he and I discussed that a little bit. And I said, well, you're still my friend, brother. You know, we may have a difference in religion, but we still can work together in any way that we can. Now, I believe very strongly, if he was in good health right now, and in many of these battles that we have fought in Louisville since 1969, that he would be out there with us too. It took us it took a long time to get a street named after Ali in this city. And that's a mindset in this city. This city has a mindset that is very conservative. It hasn't turned the corner on racial issues and impacting poor people, impacting minorities, impacting African Americans. It hasn't turned the corner. I work with people all over this country, especially in the South. And when they come here to protest with us or be with us, they tell me all the time, from Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, people from the Martin Luther King men who marched with Dr. King, Reverend Abernathy, Shuttlesworth, Jose Williams, my good friend Jose. They did not like, they're deceased now, they did not like to come to Louisville because they felt that Louisville is not making any progress. The black people were too passive, and that the conservatism was just so deep and thick in every fabric of this life in Louisville, Kentucky, that they oftentimes said, Coleman, we don't want to come down there, Coleman, because y'all, the black community is not going to do anything. I said, Coleman, you're just fighting a losing battle down there. I said, well, I can't quit. I had to live here. I said, y'all don't have to live here. So that's the reason why we kept hanging in here. And it's been a challenge. It's really been a challenge. I think we've challenged every institution in this community, in this state, including the church. We've had to even challenge the church for its practices against women, and at any given time we might rise up and protest against a church that does not allow women to preach, does not allow women to hold offices, and we've done that against the churches in this community throughout the state.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
So and when you do those type of things, it's not about making friends. It's just about doing something where everybody is respected, everybody is treated right. Everybody wants an opportunity to have the same opportunity that everybody else has.
Right, to make the American dream real.
That's right.
Versus just a fantasy.
That's right.
Pretend.
Right. Before I came here to do this taping with you, I had just finished an editorial. And the editorial was about our judicial system here in Jefferson County, where a U of L professor wrote a report. The report stated that several of the judges that are sitting right now had biased, discriminatory practices in sentencing. When African Americans who implement the same crime, or Hispanics implement the same crime as the white peers with the same crime, the African Americans and Hispanic got longer sentences. The system knows this. The Chief Justice, who we met with the NAACP, knows this, and he said, Reverend, I'm not going to release the names of those judges. I said, then we don't know who to vote for when it's time to vote for these judges, because we're not going to vote for anybody who's been discriminatory towards poor whites, who are in a certain economic background. African Americans are minorities, and we're battling that issue right now. Just finished an editorial, and we had to hopefully get it printed in the Courier-Journal. That's what bugs me so much. When you document the issue, and when you, I mean, these are facts. These are not philosophies. These are not anything that we just thought up in our mind. But when you get the facts together, and when you document the facts and put it out, and we'll put it out there before the public, let the public have their say so. And sometimes it's hard to get an editorial written in the major written news media here. And so in that Louisville Magazine article, you saw where one of my goals is to one day to be able to publish a newspaper. One day I just hope to be able to publicize a newspaper that will give the real issues that go on in this community. Hopefully we can change some things. And I believe newspapers and medias can be a change agent if they want to be. But if they're being paid by the corporations that are historically and currently discriminating, organizations that are greed-oriented, then they're interested only in the bucks and the mighty dollar. And we're not interested in bucks and mighty dollar. What we've done, this has been a volunteer.
Oh, really?
I mean, I'm on nobody's payroll, and that's the reason why.
There's no heat.
Yeah, that's the reason why. That's the reason why I'm on nobody's payroll.
There's no electricity in there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. There's no electricity, or we refuse to give the LG&E, Louisville Gas Electric Light Company, Eon now. This is owned by a German company now, and we refuse to turn on our gas. We have we're using electricity all this winter in this building. It's cold in here. That's why I still have my coat on. It's cold in here, and we'd rather suffer than pay this company the monies that they are gouging out of the general public. And that's the reason why we're going to take them to court.
Well, you've not just been dealing with the gouging of the energy costs, but also with pollution in the Louisville area for some time, haven't you?
For about 16 years, maybe a little bit longer than that, when we began to, when we read, Ben Chavis was with the Church of Christ at the time, former NAACP director with the Nation of Islam now, I think.